Okay, can anybody hear me? Let's see if the audio is working now. Yes? Hello? You can hear me? Amy, Salty, yes? Okay. I have no idea why it does that, but on my end, I'm watching the audio up at the top corner, and it says that it's working perfectly fine, but for some reason it's just not broadcasting out. Boo! Mind blowing. And I've tried not one but four different mics. So I don't think it's on my end. I think it has something to do with YouTube's encoding because it's not working at all for some reason. On my end, it's showing that on the screen that the audio is working perfectly fine. I don't know. Um, and I want to give a quick shout out to last weekend. And for those who remember, I had the same issue last weekend with the audio not working. And I had a subscriber and a Patreon supporter who sent me these. They're lapel mics. Clip on your shirt like this. So I want to give a shout out to Samantha R, who sent me not one but four of these mics. She had them shipped to me from Amazon. That was really super cool of her to do that. I really appreciate it. Again, if you, I haven't seen her name pop up yet, but if she does, uh, Sarah, thank you very much for the gift. I really appreciate it. Ginger, did you get my email? I hope you were able to figure out how to turn on notifications. Hi, Cece, Helen, Rose, Irish Eyes. Welcome. Scrolling back up here so I can say hello to everybody. Something, Summer Rain. Welcome, Amy, Miss H, Salty, Noreen, Kim A, Paula M, Deborah, Kathy, Army Vet Lady KD. Welcome, everyone. Aloha. Hope I didn't miss anybody. Dave, good morning, sir. I think I caught it. Julia, Authentic Audrey, Audra. Why did I say Audrey? I can read. I really can. Good morning, everyone. So I hope everyone's Saturday morning is going well. If you have time today in your life, jump over to the community tab on my page, and there's a poll up there. And I'm asking that the question is, what day works best for you to join in and take part in these live streams, either Saturday, Sunday, or a weekday? And you can leave a comment underneath there after answering the poll. I would love to to hear get more feedback on what my viewers would actually like to when they want to, when they can. So good morning, Kim. Yeah, deja vu. I don't understand it. I really don't. Good. I sit down here and I log in and I do the thumbnail and I get everything else ready and it's working perfectly fine on my end and then all of a sudden nothing for you. You guys can't hear anything. Will just found out the views don't count for you unless it is viewed to the end. Also, I'll be letting the ones that don't interest me to the end as well. Hope that helps your views. Karen, uh, that's about 50% correct. Uh, when it comes to views, if you watch 6 seconds of the video, it counts as a view. It interaction and playtime and retention. It doesn't count for retention unless you consume so much of the actual video. But I appreciate it all the same, Karen. Kookaburoo song. Hello from Australia. Good morning, Australia. So good people. Mispronounced my name a lot. I do. I'm sorry. I really am. Maybe I just call you authentic. I don't know. I don't mean any disrespect from it at all. I really don't. I subscribe to you, Ginger Ninja. Good morning, Cece. Summer butterfly just come across Tim Jones Jr. My God, what a horrible thing to do to your kids. Oh yeah. Well, and I understand that there's a huge fascination with Christopher Watts and what he did, but it's not really an outliner. There have been multiple cases where there has been someone who has killed their spouse and all their children. One of the largest studies of family side that was ever completed was from the University of New Queensland, and they did one of the most extensive research projects into it to try to understand exactly why these men and women. It has happened both, with both genders. But it's very interesting if you can and afford it. I think the entire report is just under 300 pages, and I don't know if you can get it online, but you could. I think you can contact the uh, New Queensland University and get a copy of it that way. And I don't know what the cost is. I've read excerpts of the report of the study, but it's happened a lot around the world. It's not just family side is not just something that happens here in America. We just we have a lot more publicity, and we give the I want to say, trying to put it in a nice way, the people who do these crimes, we give them a lot more press time here in America than other countries do. When is your stream? I haven't seen you on. Uh, Summer rains. I don't know if you're speaking to me, but I was doing these live streams every Sunday, but I've moved them to Saturday, mainly for my international uh, subscribers and Patreon supporters. They want to. They Sundays don't work for them because here in America we work Monday through Friday, have weekends off, and not everybody in the world works that way. Hello, everyone. Kimberly, welcome. Yeah, Cece, I, I've got a stack of questions, and I'm going to be reading about my live stream, my epic live stream from last weekend. A lot of concerns, a lot of positive feedback, a lot of negative feedback about it. I'm going to answer them. I told everybody I would. That video has been delisted. It's still on my channel. It's just unlisted right now because there is approximately 5 hours of nothing. I thought I turned it off. And it on my end, I thought I did, but apparently I didn't turn it off. And so it streamed a black screen for almost, well, total stream was almost 6 hours, but we were only on it for like two. Down YouTube right now, their editing says that I can't edit that or trim that video because it extends past 2 hours. So I might have to download it and then edit it on my end and then re-upload it as a regular video. Ginger Ninja, you're buffering, and Sunday in America is Monday internationally. Yeah. Some don't know what having fun is. This is absolutely true. Dave S. Dog, occasionally dogs bark. Well, I have four of them. Stayed here for hours off and on with you. I was looking at the actual metrics. So that stream went 6 hours total, like 4 hours, almost 4.5 hours, with neither me or my friend Tim on the actual stream. And when it finally did end, there were 23 people who were still part of that stream. Aloha, Whitney. What kind of dogs do I have? I have German Shepherds, and they're all two of them are purebreds, and then two of them are mixes. But we're currently taking care of two other dogs, so there's actually six here right now. Just add a thumbnail explaining what happened. To the other stream. Yeah, I don't want to mess with this right now. You, Rose Petals, you love the Stupid Criminals videos. Thank you. You love Shepherds. I do too. But first German Shepherd I ever had, I was a purebred German Shepherd. I got that dog when I was, I think, 4 or 5 years old, and he was an ex police dog. And the community that I lived in at the time, when they retired a police dog, the officer who had the police dog wasn't allowed to keep the dog. So we adopted the dog, and we knew because we knew the officer, and we had him. He could come over and visit the dog at any time he wanted. And he had a very large chain, and that was my dad put a post in the ground, and then a big eye hook, so the dog could run around, and had full reign of the backyard. It wasn't fenced in, and we could put in a fence because of the community we lived in. So we had him chained up, and one day we came home from school, and somebody had cut the chain, and you couldn't get near that dog if your life depended upon it. If that dog didn't know you, and we believe the officer stole his partner back. So we never went beyond to try to press it. We knew where he lived, and we figured that he got the dog. And then I didn't have any German Shepherds until my daughter was born, and then my sister had a purebred German Shepherd. And so let's back up a little bit. So my daughter and her daughter are 2 days apart. So when they were just toddlers, she thought that her German Shepherd, dog was too aggressive. Well, the dog was being protective. It would get in between the baby and her all the time. So when she was trying to pick the baby up or do something with the baby, this was all of us. This was all new to us. This was all of our first child. Her first child and mine and my wife's first child, and we all lived in the same home. But she didn't want the dog anymore because she thought the dog was too aggressive. I love that dog. But um, I know they're very protective dogs. They'll do anything for you. Let's see. I didn't catch you. So I think somebody said they have a dingo. I had a long time ago. I had a dingo and blue heeler mix. Oh, I can't find the comment now. Went by. Spooky noises too. Right at about 10 minutes after you left. Oh, sorry. Probably this house. It's probably haunted. Irish Eyes. How many alcohols were involved last weekend? A lot. All right, so that sounds like a good point to start. So these are questions and comments that I received about the live stream last weekend, and yeah, overall, about 90% of the comments that we received were positive. Some of them were negative, and we're going to read some of the ones that were somewhat negative. So, excuse me, excuse me. The first one, you're killing yourself on a live stream on YouTube. Drink wine next time. That came from a couple different, there were two different people who commented somewhat similar to that. Okay. Uh, Next one, where is Tim from? Where does Tim live? And can I get Tim's email address? That was from Mary T. Funny, informative, showing the real you. Your friend is funny, but terrible idea to live stream while you drink. A couple different people who said something similar to that. Amy and Jonathan. Terrible idea to live stream drunk. You just destroyed your channel, and I refuse to support such behavior. Thank you, Tiffany, for your view and opinion on that. So, what happened to the live? What happens to the live stream money? You should be ashamed of yourself for asking for super chats for your friend. I'm unsubscribing. Chickwana, thank you very much. You were actually never a subscriber. I checked. Um, why don't you make your friend part of all your live streams? Because he lives about 350 miles away from me. But if I could ever get him to drive down here for 350 miles on a Saturday, or if I drive 350 miles that way, I would love to. So is this a dating site for your friend? About nine different ladies wanted to ask that question. Although you're funny, you're sending the wrong message to teens about alcohol use. Can't believe you drove after drinking. Shame on you both. That came from Marissa. No, we did not. The reason why we were here and drinking is because we didn't want to drive anywhere. It was just two guys hanging out, who don't get to spend any time together and talk. And the two of us decided to have some beers and do a live stream. You're going to get in trouble with YouTube for drinking on a live stream. Several people asked that question. No, actually, it was age restricted so it was 18 and above only could see the stream. And there are several channels large channels and small channels where people drink alcohol all the time on YouTube live streams, and they make videos. Um, Take, for instance, BuzzFeed and College Humor. Both of them, they've got 14 million subscribers, both for both those channels, and they've had challenges where they've drank alcohol from around the world and gotten completely loaded. And YouTube doesn't do anything about that because we put the age restriction in place. We know what we're doing, even though we're drinking. And it was one time. I don't know why so many people, were down on that. Why ask for super chats now? What I liked about your channel was you didn't beg for money like other channels. Going to have to rethink about why I would want to subscribe. That one's from Ellen. And that's it. Those are the most negative ones and the questions that were asked the most. It's legal to drink on YouTube. It is very, very much so, Angela. People do it all the time. So you do your homework, people. Now, I mean, I've been at this now. Well, it will be 1 year in July that I will have been on YouTube making videos, and I've been live streaming, at least once a week since I started the channel. Some of those videos are the original live streams are no longer on my channel, but you can go back quite a long ways and check them out. But regardless, though, uh, since I've been doing this, that's the first time that I've ever actually been on a live stream and been drinking. One time out of a year's worth of live streams, once every week. You do the math. Statistically, I'm not destroying my channel. And if people don't like the fact that me and my friend were sitting around having a couple of beers and being responsible and staying home, I'm sorry. I really am. I didn't mean to offend anybody. View it true crime. I think I saw that you said you subscribed before the on the other stream. If you did, thank you very much. I appreciate that. You dang human. Yeah, I know. Oh, thank you very much for the super chat, Angela. I appreciate it. Have a beer on me, please. No, I may tomorrow. Tomorrow, I hope if you do, tomorrow is Father's Day here in America. I don't know if it is internationally, but it is here tomorrow. Um, I may have one or two tomorrow. My wife is sending me off to. Uh, she said she wants me to go golf someplace that is fancy. Well, I don't know if I'm going to do that, but I probably will go golfing tomorrow for Father's Day, and then who knows? I might even take a nap. I doubt it though. I can't sleep during the day. We support you, Will. Happy Father's Day to you. Thank you, Samara. I appreciate it, and welcome to the stream today. Some of the comments are unbelievable hypocrites step on people if you don't like it. Yeah, Tracy, you're absolutely right. Because I mean, I'm letting basically with these live streams, I'm letting everybody in on my life. I mean, this is who I am. Live stream, go and if well when I re-upload it after I edit out that 4 hours of dead space on it, this is who I am. I'm not. This is not fake. This is who I really am. I'm just a down to earth individual who, you know, even when I was intoxicated on the live stream, it's just who I am. It's true serum, Helen Johns. Yeah. Happy Father's Day. I think all the dads should celebrate all weekend. This is true. Yeah. Well, thank you, Cece. I appreciate that. I'm me. Does everybody know how to do thumbs up on this or make that icon thing? Me and Cece want to do a trivia night. We keep on saying we're going to do it, but we haven't done it. We just got to find a one of these weekends where, or a Saturday or Sunday or something where we can all see. Dave did it, Critter, but do a live stream together where we do trivia. I know I just got to find a time when my schedule is available. Ginger, I unlisted the live stream from last weekend because I'm trying to. I have to download it and then I'm going to edit out that 4 hours of dead nothingness to the live stream. Cinder Fire. Welcome. Yeah, I've got not. I'm still moving my stuff down here. I wish I could turn this computer and show everybody. This place is just a mess. I've got boxes full of stuff that I haven't unpacked yet. That's the best thing about doing these live streams earlier in the morning on Saturdays. Is it also still allows me to? My son is still asleep, so I can spend time with him. Open up beer barrel. Hmm. See, I know it'd be a hit. I have to tell you, Cece, I've never used Google Hangout. I've never used it, but I'm sure it can't be that difficult to do it. I'm sure you can tell me how to do it. Yeah, I mean, I've looked at it. It looks pretty easy to me too. Come on, you're a great father. Pop a top. Well, Helen Johns. It is 7:34 a.m. here on a Saturday morning. I I don't sponsor this company but drinking my uh, see, this one is salted caramel coffee energy drink. That's about as close as I'm going to get to popping a top at this hour. Thank you very much, Cindy Fire. Cinders Fire. It's 10:35 there, Ginger. 25 thumbs up with 62 watching. Please smash the thumbs. Thank you to our host. Thank you very much, Angela. I appreciate that. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. It is. Yeah. Go to the YT Studios and laptop and create an event. 7:35 in Northern California mountains. Let's see. What do I have upcoming? Well, it's June now. Um, I'm gonna I don't have anything coming up this week. I got a couple of videos. I have like 3 videos right now that are uploaded right now that are unlisted. Um, after this live stream, I'm going to put up another video. It's unlisted right now, and I'm going to make it public after this. It's 4:35 there in Norway. UK. It's 15:36 here. And does everybody understand how to tell? I guess you'd call it military time. What I always call it. But you take 12 o'clock, and then every hour after that is 1300, 1400, 1500, so on. Is how you do that. 7:37 here in SoCal. Authentic Audra. 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 Gotta put that in my mind every time I see the name Audra, not Audrey. Audra. Yeah, I gotta go check that out, Cece. I got a notification yesterday when I was at work that you did a live stream with your son. I'm gonna have to go check that out later. Ginger Anderson is 9:38 there. Welcome, Ginger Anderson. Thank you, Cinder's Fire. You have a great day as well. Stay safe out there. How's the family? My family's they're doing great. Daniel Whitshire. Fantastic. Love your channel. Thank you. Reba. Welcome. I'm glad you could stop by today. Trying to read the comments, and I put this on the lowest latency, so it's supposed to slow it down. Which either that or a lot of people are commenting at the same time. So sorry for the dead air there. Trying to keep up with it. What are the two dolls behind you? Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah. No. Their subscription service, Loot Crate. We get a well, we used to. We just recently stopped it, but we were subscribers to Loot Crate for about 2 years, and we used to get two different ones. So each month you'd get like a T-shirt, and you'd get a bunch of other fan gear, and you'd get stuff like those dolls and these pop toys, keychains, magazines, comics, stuff like that. Helen Johns collects Mad magazines. That's cool. But we recently stopped it because we noticed that, especially like the last year of Loot Crate, they were repeating the same things. So what you got in January, you could almost guarantee you're going to get in May again, almost the exact same items. So and then we're like, I mean, if you're really into fan gear for movies and science fiction, in particular, um, it's a great service. It's cheap. They send it right to your door every month. You get a T-shirt and a bunch of little tchotchke items, I guess you could call it. Morning from San Antonio, Texas. Can you do a story on Kellen Winslow case? Tina Dawson, welcome first off. But Kellen Winslow, I have it on my list, I believe. I don't have my list in front of me because it's upstairs where I was actually doing research. Mary, MC, hi, Will, and all, welcome. But I am looking into it right now. Ask us crime questions, maybe. Caffeine has not reached my brain yet. What does TCM stand for, Angela Critters? Okay. Oh, I didn't see the critter set something up there. I missed that. It kind of helps. Hey, Donkey Kong 80. One of the best games ever, isn't it? Donkey Kong. I probably spent way more money than I would care to actually know about in the arcades back in the early '80s, playing Donkey Kong and several of the other games. I don't know if anybody remembers Moon Blaster. Yeah, but like saying about Loot Crate, they have a subscription service for that as well. They have a retro video game one, and they actually will send you games, retro games, and Pac-Man, yeah, Donkey Kong, stuff like that. One of the very first home entertainment centers that we ever got when we were kids. Obviously, going to date me, but it was Atari Pong. We went from Atari Pong, and as dated as that is, the next system we bought up after that was my mother bought us the Intellivision system. And if you listen closely, you can now hear that my son is now awake. He's never the happiest little guy when he wakes up in the morning. Omega 500. I'm not familiar with the Omega, but I didn't have a Nintendo system. I bought the Nintendo, uh, the first Nintendo. I was in high school, I think it was, when I got the first one, the one where you had to blow in the cartridge to get it to work sometimes. But one of the first things that I bought when I got to college, and I remember this, was I checked into my dorm, and before I actually unpacked my actual belongings in my dormitory when I went to college, was I remember when my parents drove me into town and we went by this giant like flea market outdoor sales, like an indoor sales like place. And I went there and I bought myself a Super Nintendo system with my college money. I was like, heck, I can eat top ramen, right? I don't need food. I'll get a Super Nintendo system. I think I had like the one game that came with it was like, Super Mario Brothers or something like that. That's all I ever had for it. Then one of my I think it was either my roommate there or his friend stole the whole system from me. Barnus Fahrenheit. Welcome. I was actually born in 1981, and we had 1970s burnt orange colored hand down the Donkey Kong game that flipped open. That's cool. Let's see, where was I in 1981? 1981. Well, in 1981, I was still living in a suburb of Minneapolis. I was living in St. Louis Park, Minnesota in 1981. I am grumpy when I first get up in the morning, too, until I get my coffee. Alice Marie, welcome. Um, I'm a 1980s baby, 1980 baby. I didn't think you were that old, CC. Planet Mar, 1981. I was 11, chasing butterflies. Okay. I mean, I'm not doubting you, CC. If you say you were born in 1980, I just didn't think you were that old. I'm sorry. Hey, early 80s isn't that old. You were 8 in 1981. I was uh, I was older than 8. But I can't even remember the middle name of the middle school in St. Louis Park that I went to. But I eventually ended up going to St. Louis Park High School. But that was years later because we moved and then moved. We moved from St. Louis Park to Edina, Minnesota. From Edina to St. Cloud, Minnesota. From St. Cloud, Minnesota to Washington State. From Washington State to just outside of San Bernardino, California. From there, back to Wisconsin. From Wisconsin to Prescott, Wisconsin. From there to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. From there, and I moved so much when I was between the ages of like 12 to 18, that 6 year period. My mother worked for the government. She worked for the Department of Energy. She was a compliance officer. So, and my dad died in 1981. After my father died, my mom we just shuttled around the United States. She kept on going from place to place as they needed her. I'm just north of Madison, Katner 6112. It's very pretty there. If anybody ever really wants to settle down someplace with higher humidity than you already have, I highly suggest going to another state other than Wisconsin, because I don't want you in my state. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's very beautiful there. Very beautiful. Audrey, yes, great music in the 80s. Parachute pants and Guess jeans. Wow. I could have lived without you posting that, Planet Mar. I didn't want to remember that. Don't forget about Tiger Stripe shirts and those colors. Woo. Oh, pastels. Yee. Cheese curds, lots of mosquitoes. We like the balance here. True. Yeah. I'm from the Prescott area, where the St. Croix and the Mississippi meet. It's the only reason why the town ever existed there. But mosquitoes, that's a state bird. Hate neon colors and the parachute pants. I was never a fan of the parachute pants, or the pants with the oh, or the shirtless t-shirts without the sleeves, and the fishnet shirts. Wow. Alaska state bird too. Helen John. Pastel suits worn on undertone skins. Not cool. Tone. We'll go now and look. Def Leppard. Never liked Def Leppard. I know. My friend, I'm almost certain that eventually he's just going to buy me an entire collection of Def Leppard record albums. Because I was never into Def Leppard. All my friends were. They all loved the music. And then after the drummer lost his arm and still was able to play with one hand, I was like, okay, great. I mean, just not my cup of tea. Madonna. She reinvented herself quite a few times, didn't she? Oh, there's another one I didn't want to. Hope Davis, geez, leg warmers. Ew. What year did Splash Dance come out? That was around that time, wasn't it? Horse with No Name by America. I got the song in my head now. Thank you. David Lee Roth and the 1980s bands. I wasn't into Def Leppard, but it was the 90s. Ginger Ninja. You want to watch a really good video on YouTube, go check out David Lee Roth's interview on the Joe Rogan podcast. I believe there's just one video, but there's also Joe Rogan, the JRE, breaks it up into several different videos. But you would be surprised what he has been up to all these years. Now, there's some bands that I can get behind. Authentic Audrey, Black Flag, and Rage Against the Machine. Audra, damn it, I said it again. I love my Henry Rollins. I was a huge Rage Against the Machine fan up until Zach left. The Rollins band, Rat is still touring. What's left of them? They're still touring on the college radio, along with Quiet Riot. Yeah, no joke. What's left of those two bands? They tour on the same bus, and they tour the college radio circuit every year. Motley Crue will do. Love the '90s, i.e., rave hairspray and big hair. Motley Crue. I was I was a Motley Crue fan. I still have the original first pressing vinyl of "Shout at the Devil," the album. I have the original gatefold. It's the gatefold, and I have the trifold, which they only made I think 350 copies of, and it came with two singles, 45s. Judas Priest in concert. Your husband just saw Judas Priest in concert. Those guys are looking rough these days. Cat Nurse 6112. Judas Priest. They were. I loved Judas Priest back in the day. Rob Halford, KK Downey. Any updates on the former sub of yours who's been charged? Um, Sam, no. Right now, she's being held there in jail. She will see the judge, I think, the first time on Tuesday, but I could be wrong. It could be Wednesday. I would have to actually look at the calendar again. But yeah, talk about a little unnerving. So, for those who may not be aware, didn't see the video, I have a subscriber of mine. Now, she contacted me once and asked through the Facebook group and asked me if I would look into or if I was going to do a video on a cold case. And I was like, okay. And I get so many of these messages. I didn't even put it together of what happened. So, and then another subscriber and a Patreon supporter of my channel messaged me and said, "Hey, I remember this lady from your live stream. Is this the same lady as who was your subscriber?" So I checked into it and I said, "Yeah." They made the profile pictures and everything look the same. And then she messaged me back. She goes, "She just got arrested for killing both of her parents." And I'm like, "What?" She goes, and then she sent me the article and I looked at it and I was like, "Oh, snap." So what happened? She apparently she with a knife she slit her father's throat and she went all psycho and killed her mother. I don't know the circumstances behind it. Don't know why she'd do it. Oh man, why at Costco? I love Costco. I had four kids by 1990, so I feel out of place right at the moment. Alice Marie, all right, you had four kids by 1990, so let's talk about some music that came up before 1990. Fashions from oh, 80s. That's what we originally got onto was talking about fashion from the 80s, and then music. Is there a band that you've always been fond of? Straight leg pants. It is Ramona. It is a sad case. I mean, and I don't think that I have much that I can. If the police ever do contact me, I don't know if there's anything that I can really add that is going to be beneficial. I mean, I'd be more than happy to share, her comments and live streams. She commented on a couple live streams, like just like everyone here, and she sent me that one message on Facebook. I don't know how much I could actually help, or I don't. And I'm pretty sure that according to what somebody else told me, I don't know if it's true. Bro, Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody. Now it's a yeah, that's a long song. Queen is Freddie Mercury was great at what he did, but back to what I was saying though, you know, when it comes to the police, I don't know if there's much I can really add to investigation. I don't think they're ever going to contact me. Hey, what'd you say? I mean, I'll put screenshots up on a video for them if they want it. Right on. Good morning, Star Miller. Welcome, Queen. Of course, yeah. Barnes Fahrenheit is icon is Freddie Mercury. Just shy of 50, Daniel. Well, I was 50 once. The Allman Brothers. There we go. Love the Allman Brothers. I have probably about 4 or 5 of the Allman Brothers records upstairs. The All United. There you go. Queen will always be her favorite. Panamar. See, a gorgeous man too. Rest in peace, Greg. Michelle, welcome. Finally made it live. There you go. Have to go to work. Have a good weekend. Ginger Anderson, thank you for stopping by. I really do appreciate you stopping by and checking out the live stream today. You have a great weekend. Stay safe out there. Until next time. Gotta love some Queen. Yeah. Tom Petty. Tom Petty and Heartbreakers. That was some great stuff. Anna, you just woke up. Well, welcome, Anna. Glad you could stop by today. Tom Petty, the Florida boy. Have you seen the music video by Disturbed, The Sound of Silence? Daniel, yes. You know, I'm a big fan of the Simon and Garfunkel version, and when I heard that they were going to redo that cover of Simon and Garfunkel's, I was really hesitant to want to listen to the song, but the way their version of The Sound of Silence and their cover and the video that goes with that, thumbs up all the way. Great song. New B Dub van is out. Planet Mars, isn't that? Did you see the pictures of that thing? Oh wow! We were asking about that at the dealership last weekend when we were there. Me and my wife we had to take our car in for uh, routine maintenance, oil change and stuff. And we were asking if they were when they were going to get it. It looks just like the micro buses of the '60s for anybody, but an updated version of it. Oh yeah, it's back, Dave. It 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 looks like it's a 2019 version of a 1960s microbus, flat, square, front end, the micro, all the windows down the sides. It keeps the same body lines and with the with the beat up symbol in the middle. Check out the pictures online. I don't know if I'll be buying one, but I mean they look pretty neat. System of a Down, true hippie soul right here. Yeah, Simon and Garfunkel hated each other. They had Daniel. They definitely had their rocky moments, didn't they? I watched an interview with Paul Simon years later when he said that they had pretty much mended the fences, but they really disdained each other, especially when it came to who was going to share the profits from their music and who actually was more responsible for their hits. I saw Elton, but I skipped the movie. Okay, I didn't. Are you talking about Elton John? Eric Church, Attic. Simon was so much more talented. Sorry. Eh, he definitely had a longer career. Art Garfunkel is a nicer one. I don't know, Natalie. I don't know either one of the two, but I mean, when it comes to like hits and definitely Paul Simon definitely had a much more longer career. You're at Back All United. Okay, a lot of sex. Davis. No, that's horrible. Okay, I have Paul Simon on in my Spotify, but much more Johnny Cash. I'm gonna have to go with that. I used to use Spotify, but not anymore. Not af- That's my own personal preference, and I won't get into it. But why I don't. But um, what about Bob Dylan? Hey, yeah, Mumble, yeah. He's a true Minnesota boy, isn't he? You can understand him when he was younger, but not so much anymore. But Bob Dylan, definitely, um, when it comes to like music that is along the lines of Bob Dylan, I don't know if anybody will remember this artist or not, but Donovan. They used to compare Donovan to Bob Dylan and say he was the UK's version of Bob Dylan. But Donovan, thumbs up there. Saw Dylan and the Dead in 1986. That's cool. I never got to see the Grateful Dead. I've seen a lot of bands. Me and my wife sat down one time at the dining room table with a notebook, and I was trying to remember all the different bands that I've seen over the years. And total concerts overall, I've probably been to close to 3,000 different concerts over the years. And I used to go to a lot of concerts. I had a lot of friends who were musicians and still are. But I have one friend he's a studio musician in Los Angeles. Any STP or LP fans? Uh, Stone Temple Pilots? LP. I'm trying to think of what LP stands for besides long play. STP. What is LP? Lincoln Park. Oh, sorry, no. If the LP is Lincoln Park, no, I've never been a fan of Lincoln Parks, but Stone Temple Pilots. I liked Stone Temple Pilots. Smashing Pumpkins, Samara. They're a great band. Hey guys, Sandy Blue, welcome. Catch Locklear, welcome as well. STP in '94. I never saw STP in concert. I've seen Mudhoney. They were I think they were back in early '90s before Nirvana and all them came about. Mushroom Head. Never heard of Mushroom Head. Nirvana. James Taylor. You got a friend. Daniel, if I didn't see if you were leaving. Have a great day. Meat Puppets. Carol King. She had a wonderful voice. Carroll did. James Taylor did an amazing tribute to Parkland last March. Cool. Film about life story soon. Wood Mac. That's some awesome music. Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. Here you go. A lot of concerts. Oh yeah. In my most impressionable years, I lived in the downtown Minneapolis area. I hardly ever came home. Went home. I mean, my mother could have cared less if I was alive or dead. That's for a whole other subject. But I used to live downtown, basically. I wouldn't call myself a street kid, but I spent every waking moment at two bars. I was 12, 12 to like, I don't know, onward. And we moved away, came back, moved away, came back. But the downtown Minneapolis back in the 80s, there was two places. They're still there. If the First Street and the 7th Street entry uh, downtown, Alice in Chains. What a tragic loss. I miss Lane too. And damn heroin. But I used to go to the First Street and 7th Street entry, and I'd watch concerts every weekend. And bigger bands would tour. If they stopped in Minneapolis to play, some of them would actually go there and they'd play opening shows for new music that they were going to play. I mean, I've seen everybody from the Dead Milkmen um, to Anthrax. I mean, so you had like your pop music. I used to watch Prince for $7, $7 to see Prince play with Abylonia. That was before he hit it really big. Hey, Karen, did I miss anything good? All United? No. We can start right here. We'll start new. You didn't miss anything exciting. We're just sitting around talking about music and life and oh, anything that comes to our minds. I love me some Anthrax too. But I went to a lot of concerts. And it was just something that I did, and Steely Dan is good. There we go. But and then I moved from Minneapolis. I moved to Seattle, and when I lived in Seattle, that was right about the time that grunge was coming out. Starting to hit the scene. We are moving from big hair bands to grunge, and I mean, I spent a lot of time, in dive bars, um, watching, bands play, and I made a lot of friends that way. Woody Guthrie. I've got a lot of Woody Guthrie albums. True, classic man. I mean, take the music aside, Woody Guthrie was a hell of a person, and a lot of people don't know his life story and how he spent his entire life pretty much giving away and giving back to people who are less fortunate than himself. Great man, but the music is on top of it all. No one will ever touch Woody. Kane, the wrestler, is my county mayor. I'm not familiar with wrestling, but that's cool, Lisa Kitt, and welcome to the live stream. Pete Seeger, Pete Seeger and the Silver Bullet Band was awesome too. Wyland Cornell, Chester Bennington, Coben, and Lane Staley. Too many. Too many tragic losses there. Bob Seger. Smashing Pumpkins, love them. Yeah. They stole your heart. Kiss. Hold on, I got an eyelash in my eyeball. Ooh. Neil Young. Neil Young, very talented individual. Now, before anybody mentions it, um, I am not a Cat Stevens fan. His music, okay. Individual, not so much. Depeche Mode. I was a huge fan of Depeche Mode for about 8.5 months. Yeah, I'm not kidding. I was dating a girl at the time who was really, really into Depeche Mode, and well, I mean, I like the music. She was also a huge fan of The Cure. If anybody remembers The Cure? Yeah, he's out there. Yeah, you couldn't, Michelle, you couldn't play most of their music anymore on the radio. I mean, or XM radio for that matter. I mean, times have changed. You certainly couldn't get away with uh, playing a song on the radio now that, like Killing an Egyptian. That stuff would never fly today, even though what we understood what the context was back then. Saw Cure live a couple of times. They weren't so good live. Uh, was my first sixth grade thought I was cool. Blondie, what was it? Rapture? Uh, Blondie is actually my three, my fourth sister's nickname. She used to have like really blonde, almost white hair growing up. Cranberries, rest in peace. Wow. Just mentioning the cranberries, I had the zombie popped into my head, and I mean, it's been 10, 15 years since I've seen the video, but I've got the video playing in my head. Her singing the song "Zombie," and the video clips of Northern Ireland. Bruce Springsteen, John Cougar Mellencamp. Well, is he John Cougar Mellencamp now, or is he John Mellencamp? Every time I see that he's got to do another show coming up or something, or he's on TV, half the time it's John Cougar Mellencamp, the other time it's just John Mellencamp. I think we're all going to remember him as John Cougar Mellencamp. Yanni. Interesting story about Yanni is my mother almost died while listening to Yanni. True story. She was involved in a rollover car accident. Car rolled 6 times down a county road, and they were listening to Yanni. So from the day that accident happened, no one in my family bought a Yanni album or cassette or CD or anything. And if we it's kind of like an inside running joke, really. But we always tell people that stay away from Yanni because it'll kill you. Dire Straits, they were great back in the day. Helen says that the Cougar is gone, so just John Mellencamp now. But no, I'm just talking about promotional material. You'll see, like he's got a show coming up, and half the time I see it when they'll say John Mellencamp, and other times they'll say John Cougar Mellencamp in the promotional material. Maybe they're doing it so people will actually, in case they're like, well, who's John Mellencamp? But they remember the Cougar part of it. Maybe that they're doing it for that reason. Dire Straits. I like Imagine Dragons, Maroon 5, and Coldplay, Ed Sheeran. My son is a big fan of Imagine Dragons. It's on his YouTube playlist. See what else is on there? Avicii and Imagine Dragons, Avicii, and 21 Pilots. Those are on my son's playlist. That newer music, and the rest of his playlist on YouTube is all classic rock, like Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Rolling Stones, older stuff than Rolling Stones, from like the original, out some of their first albums, the Beatles. And I saw somebody earlier who said Elvis is the king. Elvis will always be the king. Oh, Donna. Sorry I missed you there before, Donna. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. She said the Offspring, Outcast, Merle Haggard, CCR, the Eagles, Alanis Morissette, Sammy Hagar. Love the music of all kinds. Let's see, Offspring. You can't go wrong with CCR. Creedence Clearwater Revival. Love their music. Alanis Morissette. Um, sorry, but Jagged Little Pill. Wasn't that her album song? Alice Marie, your message was retracted. That wasn't from me. What about Prince? Truly gifted. Prince was truly gifted. Yeah, you have no idea. So let me tell you about this place. So I used to go to this bar in downtown Minneapolis called the Seventh Street Entry, and this was a tiny little dive bar where most nights that you'd go there, you would see uh, punk rock, and what me and my friends used to refer to as Nazi rock. These were like Aryan Nation, like punk bands, but they didn't support them. They put bands on, and they would do like 3 songs, 4 songs, and it was just a time. You have to understand, it was the early '80s and mid '80s there, but that was what kind of music was there in this tiny little bar, and they would cram people in there, and that it would get so hot, and all the walls and everything was black in this place. Probably still is, but we would go there, and that's what kind of music they would have on every single weekend. Everything from that to every once in a while they put on a band that was a lower caliber. Like so they weren't so violently screaming in your face to a band. When I say lower caliber, they weren't screaming; they were actually singing songs, kind of like the Ramones. But they weren't. I don't remember the Ramones ever playing there. They may have, but I don't remember. But you can go there now, and they have a giant wall with all the different names of all the different bands that have played there over the years. But anywho, Prince would play there with Abylonia. Now, imagine Prince and his music and his talent and Abylonia standing up in front of a bunch of people who are there to hear punk rock. That took some serious balls, first off. And going back through the First Avenue's records and stuff like that, there are quite a few bands who they've never actually said that they really were there. Um, I don't know if anybody remembers Husker Du. Anybody remember Husker Du? But the Husker Du and Bob Mould played there. I know I saw them, and I have pictures of me and my friend with Bob Mould after one of the shows there, and they still don't recognize that they ever played there, and at least not in their original. They made a documentary about the first entry in 7th Street Bar and all the different bands that played there over the years, but they don't recognize that they ever played there because they weren't there on an official capacity. It's like they were playing a gig there. But Husker Du, awesome. Thank you, Danielle. But I can't remember all the different bands that I've seen there over the years. It, uh, but he used to play there. It was $7 to see him play. I can't remember the name of the band that used to play that opened for him when he used to play there. And it was you could have heard crickets in that place. The Smiths, they were great back in the day, weren't they? Salt, salt and pepper. Was it Patches that burned down her boyfriend's home? Andre Rison was the football player. I can't remember who it was. Patches, Left Eye Patch, or whatever her name was, that burned down his home, his mansion. Left Eye. Yeah. She but she threw all of her fur coats or something into the hot tub and then set them on fire. That mod was great, groundbreaking. All in the family. Yes, definitely. Mazzy Star. There we go. Donna, right? I mean, here where I am locally now, when I was in that age group, when that music was just coming out. We had 5 roll arenas here. We have one now. All the other ones have been bulldozed and uh, for progress, I guess they would say. But that we still have one roll arena that's been around since like the 19, I think 50 or 55. It's been there in the same location, and they do roller derby, flat track roller derby in it now, and they do inline skate hockey inside the roller arena. They've done everything and anything to keep the doors open. They do a lot of birthday parties there now. Jack and Diane, ah, you know, too bad he's not here. Every time I take, you were here last week, and my friend Tim was here on the live stream with me. But every time we go out and they have karaoke somewhere, he always sings Jack and Diane. Always. Karaoke like a standby thing for him. He loves that song. Puddle of Mud. Anybody ever heard of Black Happy? If you've never heard of Black Happy, go onto YouTube after this live stream and check them out. it I would be doing a complete injustice to try to describe the music, but it's kind of like ska metal, I guess what you call it, and then a 12-piece jazz music, and I'm not doing it justice at all. Go check out Black Happy, and then put in Happy Dog Salad. Check it out, really. You might enjoy it. I have an 8-track player in my first car. Cat Nurse 6112. I have some 8 tracks upstairs. I have the Beatles White Album. Yeah, I think it's on 3 8 tracks. I've got I think I have Judas Priest, and I got a couple other ones. I have like 5 or 6 of them up there still. I'm a I might be wealth based. I'm addicted to love. Supertramp. John Cougar's daughter is on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Wow, I didn't know that, Donna. And again, I don't watch TV. Sorry. In a given 30-day period, like month long, I might watch an hour of TV. About the only time I ever watch anything on TV is during football season. I might watch a little bit of TV then, but I would much rather sit and read. Coach, LOL, I remember that show. Coach. Oh, that was the University of Minnesota, the Golden Gophers. Um, that was the father from uh, Poltergeist. Nelson, wasn't it Nelson? His last name, Tom Nelson. I think it was Nelson something, isn't it? Sam. He was listening to 411. Saw Pink Floyd and Bobby Dodd Stadium. Craig T. Nelson. There you go. Yeah, he was the coach on that, but that was the Minnesota State Golden Gophers. That was a good TV show. That's a long time ago, though. Mother Love Bone. There you go. You can't go wrong with Mother Love Bone. Boghat, another great band. Saw Pink Floyd in JFK Stadium in Philly in 1988. Happy Father's Day. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I really hope that your fathers, if they're still around today, have a great Father's Day, and your husbands have a great Father's Day. And for all the single mothers out there as well who are pulling double duty, being taking on the role of mom and dad, happy Father's Day to you as well. Donna. Hi, Donna's husband. God's Truth, Washington. Yes. Your 11-year-old is a Marley fan, Bob Marley. Thank you, Sam. My my son, we were listening to. I shot the sheriff in the car, and he's sitting, in his car seat in the back, and over and over again, he kept on saying, I shot." Yeah, he's that age where he's repeating everything that he hears, So I'd rather him say I shot, over and over again all day long than the lady who cut me off in the parking lot, and I yelled out a couple of choice obscenities. I did, but he repeated them that day. But instead, we were listening to Marley. I think it was on XM radio. You gotta love, all for all your parents out there. You gotta love the kids at this age. They repeat everything that um, you never know what's going to stick in their head and what they're going to want to repeat over and over and over again. Zager and Evans in the year of 2525. Will man still be alive? That's the question we need to ask. Will man still be alive in the year 2525? Your 1 year old has a vintage soul. Bad boy Leroy Brown. Now there is a tragic loss. Jim Croce. I have Jim Croce's album upstairs. Tragic, tragic loss. Yeah. Donna, thank you very much for the super chat. Love tuning in. Talk this morning has me start out great mood. Well, thank you, Donna. I'm glad that you enjoyed the live stream. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I will be back in 2 minutes. Okay, give me 2 minutes. I have to go over here. I have to plug my stupid laptop in before it dies, and then we're all gone. So give me 2 minutes. Be right back. Still here. You just can't see me. I forgot to run the extension cord from the other side of the room. I'm back. Okay, there's one for you. So, anybody else live in an older home? This house was built in 1944, and I needed one of those stupid connectors. Cause everything's got a ground plug on it now. I needed one of those ones that doesn't have the ground plug because all the electrical in this part of the house still has the old ungrounded plugs. So, Warhouse. Oh, I missed the super chat. Hold on. Ginger Ninja, thank you. Will, this has been an awesome trip down memory lane. You're welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed it, or still enjoying it. I hope so. I saw that, Karen. Thank you very much. Yeah, no, just the age. A lot of Ontario homes built in that era, were army homes built by the troops. Well, Danielle, um, same here where I am. We were most of the town where I live and reside. They were built by the government during the 40s. They were it was a build up for the Manhattan Project. So most of this house has been completely been rewired. So it's smart wired. It doesn't matter where you go in the house. There's Ethernet. You can plug right into the wall, and all the electrical has been redone, except for in this part, which is the oldest part of the house. I highly recommend Buffy B as a moderator. Buffy B here right now. So I can give Buffy B a wrench right now. Oh, there's Buffy B. There you go. And welcome, Buffy B. You know, glad you could stop by today. My house was built in 1982. We need to start remodeling soon. Yeah, this house was built in 44, and the people who had it before. All right, so we're the third owners, but the people we bought the house from, they remodeled the so it's I guess you'd call it a split level. So there's the older part of the home, and then they built another home around it, and then off of the back. And most of all of the new home part was redone and remodeled, along with the older part of the extension. All that was rewired and redone in I think 2003. They had a fire here. It was a fireplace fire. Excuse me. Say hello to him from Irish Patriot and Karen Welsh. Sam Sam. I'm 5 minutes behind in the conversation, Ginger. Oh, that's cool. I just well, let's see. This is 2019, so 2016. I sold my what? Well, I when I first moved into it, I it was like an apartment complex, but then they turned it into condominiums, and I still owned the place. This was in Linwood, Washington. When they decided to make it into condos, and they started remodeling one building after another, and we had to move from after they remodeled, everybody moved to the other building, and then the entire thing turned into condos. But when they did that, I think we paid 136 or 137, something like that, right in there, for the condo. It just sold a couple years ago for almost triple. Insane. Ever had paranormal activity in your home, Sam? Not in this home, but my old house. I saw some freaky stuff there. Some really freaky stuff. Grandbaby's awake. It's time for me to make breakfast. We are going to try him out on the boat today for the first time. Hope the rain stays away. Have a great day, everyone. Donna, thank you for coming by today. I really appreciate it. You stay safe out there and enjoy your time with the grandbaby. Sam. All right, I'll tell you one. So the house that we had before this was all one level. It was a originally the house was a 2 bedroom, 1 bath, and the lady that we bought the house from was the daughter of the original owner. Now, to give you context on the home. The home was built in 1944, and that home, the original owners, they built that house themselves. And the way that the house actually came, a lot of the homes in this area came was they were manufactured somewhere else. They're not manufactured homes like you see today, but the entire home would come on a flatbed trailer. If you would get a spot of land, you poured the foundation or made the foundation, and then a flatbed trailer would come, and then they would unload the entire house, and each section was alphabetically put together. Like, A went with to the corner of B, and B went to C, and so you put it together like a jigsaw puzzle. And none of the homes had roofs. So they would give you a giant roll of canvas and that you rolled out over the top of your home, as a roof until they could actually get the truss in and then built it. So the way that these houses were built was a lot of neighbors would help neighbors put together their home, and there were like 6 different models of homes total, and they depended upon the family and the size and stuff like that they needed. So anyway, so the house had sat empty. The gentleman who bought the house, who worked for the government, passed away. The lady, the mother, was a widow, and she lived in the house for probably another 30 years. And she painted everything in the house Pepto Bismol pink. The walls, the ceiling, the furniture, everything was this disgusting freaking pink. So when I bought the house, it had sat empty for about 5 years at that point, and I went in and I had to paint everything, from pink, Pepto Bismol pink, you know. And one day I was in the home before we moved in, and I was changing out a faucet, I think it was, or a shower head or something in the one bathroom. There was actually they had put an extension off the back, and they had built another bathroom, so it was 2 bedroom, 2 bath at that time. But I came out of the bathroom, and there is in the living room. You go one way down the hallway for the 1 bedroom, and you go the other way, go to the living room. Now, this place is only about 1,200 square feet, total size of the house. And so I walk out of the bathroom, and there's a gentleman standing there next to there's a giant set of like 4 giant picture windows, and he's standing there looking out the window. He's wearing blue jeans, a red and green, like greenish blue flannel shirt, and he had on one of those hats that if you're from Wisconsin or Minnesota or any place that's it's got colder weather, what I'm talking about, with the flaps that come down over your ears to keep your ears warm. And he's standing there, and I look at him. He turns his head like this and looks at me, And I'm standing there. I'm like, "Ooh, what the hell's this guy doing in my house?" And and I went to go set the stuff down on the like little stool that was sitting there by the doorway. He's gone. So there's your paranormal experience from that house. That was the first time we saw something or something like that happen. Could not explain it. All my friends all were like, "Oh, did you fall? Did you bump your head when you're doing that stuff?" No. I'm sitting on back deck watching or listening to my neighbors yell at her grandbaby get down from there. Oh my God, mower going in the background. So can I come on the boat, Donna? Huh. Lisa Kit. Ginger Ninja. 11-year-old has autism. He's high functioning and is so smart. He used to say, "Mommy, I see God." Wow. I used to work with a local organization called the ARC, and we would uh, a lot of the mothers who, unfortunately, maybe it's just in our area, but we had a lot of mothers that were single, and they didn't have a father in the home to be a mentor. And I used to work with through the organization with children who had autism disorder. They were autistic, and we would take them out and do things with them. We would take them fishing. We would take them, if they needed help with homework. It was kind of like almost like a Big Brother program, but through the organization that dealt strictly with the children who had autism. I miss this one kid. He was so super cool. I wouldn't say he was high functioning. He was, and I'm not a doctor, all right, and I'm not a professional in that at all. But uh, he, I wouldn't say that he was high functioning. He may have had other issues on top of it, but he had a heart of gold, and he all he really wanted to do was he wanted to be included in the activities of other children, and other children would they can be so cruel, but he loved it when we'd pick them all up on a little like what they call it, a small microbus. It only fits like 10, I think 10 kids at a time, plus the adults. One over 2,000. Easy Outback said. Okay. Your son has Tourette's. Summer rain. That would buy. That's cool. Daniela uh, works with all aspects of disabilities and drive elderly and disabled to school, doctor's appointments, work, etc. Love your job. And Sam, your daughter is qualified in social care. She works with autistic children. That's cool. I loved working there, but unfortunately, the federal government cut back the funding for the programs that we were offering, and we tried to keep it alive as long as we could. But it got to the point where they had to make decisions, and those who were on the lower end of the totem pole, we got cut as the funding got slashed, and the federal government never came back in and funded the programs completely. But we have a guardian angel, or an angel investor, I guess you would call it. It Kolzig. He's he he was a professional hockey player. Um, and I don't remember what his first name is, but his last name is Kolzig. He has a son that was born with autism, and he decided that this was a program and something that he really wanted to support and make sure stayed alive. And he came in and he has funded the program through his nonprofit since then, and they raise money and they have a huge uh, like a hockey night, with the minor league hockey teams, and they raise quite a bit of money for the foundation to keep these programs going. Now they offered a lot of us our jobs back, but I had moved on since then. Schools fund my son $2,500. Oh, that's because he is common, so there's no funding available. Thank God Australia has great insurance. Jamie Lee, hello, welcome. Buddy B, is it me or is 411 that's lagging? Either I'm 5 minutes behind in conversation or he is. Uh, Ginger, everybody, I don't know. I hope I'm not 5 minutes behind because I only got 10 minutes left. Old School Glass, good morning. Welcome. Haven't seen your name in a while. Hope everything's going great for you. You heard about him through Crime and Coffee. Yeah. She's a great woman. I don't know why she doesn't have a lot more subscribers than she does right now. She should. Authentic Audra. I think children have always been cruel to each other. I don't think it's something necessarily new today. Uh, you know, I moved around a lot. Between the ages of 12 and 17, right in there, and so I was always. Well, at least it felt like a lot of my life. I was a new kid in town, and there's always those kids. You'd show up at a new school. You always found the bully right away who would make fun of you because you weren't wearing the appropriate style for that area, whatever the kids were into. You didn't have the cool or the what the today's lunchbox was or whatever. You know, man, kids have always been cruel. I don't. Well, I should say probably since like the '70s on. I mean, I don't remember a lot of kids being like this way to each other, but I don't think it's new necessarily. I can see how it is. You were bullied, Daniela. I'm sorry. I think a lot of the things that happened to me when I was younger, moving around a lot, definitely made me into the person and the man that I am today. I learned to accept people on face value of who they are, and appreciate the differences that everyone has, and to be open minded to listen to people. because I'd move to a new school. I would be at a school for 6 weeks, and then boom, we were out of there, and then we were on to the next place. We never knew how long we were going to be at the next school, and I learned to not necessarily draw inward and be quiet. I was always the more boisterous, outgoing individual, and it became to the I got to the point where it's like, you know what, I got people can either accept me for who I was or not, and you always find the bullies, you always find the mean kids. RN, welcome. We got to do something about this, RN. You always come just at the end of my streams. I got like 8 minutes left. I was bullied by kids, teachers, and then went home and was bullied there. It's wonderful. I'm not a raving bee, Karen. Even though all the things that happened in my life that could have persuaded me, pushed me in one direction. Eventually I decided, I'm in charge of my life, and I take responsibility for who I am today. I started at 7 a.m. an hour earlier because again, I'm still trying to figure out what is going on with the audio. And this is the second stream. Alice Marie, absolutely true. Bullying is not acceptable, and adults should teach their children not to bully. But in a lot of cases, if you look at the world that we live in today, a lot of times there are a lot of parents and a lot of adults out there who are bullying other people. I mean, take for instance, just as an example, look online any day of the week, or turn on the evening news. We bully people now to push them to believe the same way we believe politically. We bully them into and we even run commercials now about people, how to bully someone or bullying someone and push them towards what you want. It's sad. It really is. And that's some of the things that that are I really don't like about the where the world has gone. Yeah, 7 a.m. too early for this guy. I'm kind of a night owl. I caught the drunk stream the other night. It was great. Thank you, RN. Yeah. Yeah. That stream is unlisted right now, but I have to because it went 4 hours after I thought I turned it off, and we walked away. But I have to. I can't edit it online through YouTube because they say that anything over 2 hours, you can't edit it online. So I'm going to have to download it, edit it, and then re-upload it as a regular video. Thank you, Tanya Johnson. Well, we had fun. I don't get to see that's my best friend. My son has I named my son has my best friend's middle name. Yeah. Wait until part two. Part two of that about the trolls is coming up. I'm currently editing it now. Well, not right now, but I'm in the process of editing it. I'm watching a man's 50th birthday live stream, and he's pretending to be drunk and then cuss us out and delete the stream. What a night. Uh, Why would you watch that, Lisa? Thank you, Sam. Sam. Hmm. Well, today is Saturday, the 15th. By the way, I love the drunk stream. Was good to see you let loose, give up us a heads up next time, and cheer together. I'll try. Probably going to be a while. Um, he won't be over. He won't be over this weekend, obviously. I don't know about next weekend. You know, next time he gets into town. I wasn't even sure I was going to be able to get him on the live stream last time. He's never done that before. I have a money order upstairs for him. 100% of what the super chats that came in through that, I'm giving all of it to him. Same thing. It's like my wife is on live stream. I give her all the super chat. Kay from Oregon. Thanks for the awesome vlog. Steven Shepard. Where are you at in Oregon, Steven? If you don't mind if I ask. Sam, you weren't drunk. You were just buzzing. Oh, wow. I think by the end of the night, because we sat here between the two of us, we drank quite a bit. Did Steven leave? Oh, Medford. I know where Medford is. Been there quite a few times actually. I'm not too far away. I'm across the border in Washington State, but well, actually, it's quite a bit away. I'm out on the towards the west coast, like you are, as opposed to back east. Jamie Lee subscribed. Thank you. Do I recall what I told? Old school. I would need some kind of reference to that old school glass. Have I a little bit of Sandra? Have I ever been to Texas? Yes. There's only like 3 states in the lower 48 that I've never been to. I've been to just about everyone. About Paps. Now you're gonna make me try to remember, huh? No, I don't remember off the top of my head. Old school glass. I'm sure if you tell me again, I'd probably remember it now. Authentic Audra, you were bullied in high school because you didn't fit into the cliques. You had a few friends. You learned to do your own thing. Fly solo. Well, oh, Karen remembers what you said. Arkansas. I've been there. from Milwaukee. You're from Milwaukee. Pabst Brewery totally screwed the retirees out of their pension. Okay, yeah, I do remember you actually saying that. I don't think that I'd actually read and looked into that a little bit, and you're right. It I can't comment on it. Oh, my buddy is Tim. I'm sorry. I've been drinking Pabst pretty much my entire life. I would prefer to drink old style, but I can't get it here. Where I live. I can't get a single distributor in my area to deliver old style here. But I can find Pabst Blue Ribbon everywhere because the hipsters have decided that it's their beer now. So if I ever run low on it, all I got to do is just, find someone with skinny jeans on and follow them, and they'll lead me right to the Pabst. The other one that I grew up drinking besides Pabst and Old Style was um, oh, Stoles. I think they call it Stoles, but I can't get that here either. Zuzu Pedals, Old Style, always here since I'm a kid. Yeah, I mean, I'm not, no joke. I can get Old Style, and if I drive 70 miles across the border into Idaho, I can get Old Style there. I drive down into Oregon. I know exactly where to get it in Oregon, but I can't get it here because there's no distributor who delivers it here in my area. And Miss Mick Jagger, old pile, love it. Uh, Strohs, Buffy, MJ, $700 a month. Buffy V, I'm aiming for next week. I try to talk about it in another channel, out of respect. Thank you, though. I'll keep you informed on the date and time. Ginger, you have my email address. Message me too. Keep me in loop. I'd like to listen in. I was in Chicago a couple years ago for a convention, and I actually contacted. I flew in on Delta Airlines, and I asked them how much beer can I bring on the airplane as in checked luggage, and they told me none because of the uh, change in pressure. That it wouldn't be a great idea to put cases of beer on an airplane. Can't drink wine. I get violently ill from it. I'm sorry. Have you ever tried ice wines, Sam? They're not like a regular wine. They're sweet. They're like a late harvest, but they're very sweet. But a lot of people consider them a dessert wine. My wife can only drink. She doesn't get violently ill, but she does get nauseated from regular wines. But she can drink like late harvest Rieslings and dessert wines. I get violently ill from all alcohol. Sorry, Zuzu Pedals. To each their own, though. I mean, I'm not going to advocate that people go out and start drinking. There are people that have problems with milk lemonade around the corner. Fudge is made. Brian made me do it. Hmm. Plaster living, wow. Takes me back to dollar beers and dive bars we were talking about earlier. Yeah, you do. You get hives from it. I have my EpiPen. But, I'm allergic to bees. It's something in the actual bee, their stinger itself. But I'm also a beekeeper. Well, my wife is a beekeeper, and I'm definitely allergic to them. I have to keep my EpiPen around anywhere, everywhere I go. You like red beer, Steven Shepherd? You know, a great beer that it's in this area that I don't know if you can get it down there in Medford is Grant's Brewery, and another one that's from they're kind of like I think they're out of the Palouse region is Lop Nipper Scotch. There's a lot. I mean, from Vancouver, Washington, all the way up to the Columbia region, Columbia River region, up through the eastern Washington. There's a lot of microbrews in this area. I'm not a big microbrew fan, but there's a lot of them. I live in Florida now. Just came back from 3 weeks in Chicago. Best food. Sorry, Will. I wrote earlier. I'll stop saying it. I don't know what you're talking about, Ginger. Gilligan's. Gilligan's is good. Yeah, the craft breweries. You like the darker microbrews? The old school. You should. I don't know. You probably would be able to get it because a lot of these microbrews around, at least in this area, they don't have a large distribution area. Bee stings, good relief. Be careful. I'm allergic to multiple things. Very sensitive. Yeah. My wife is a beekeeper. I'm allergic to them, and I keep my EpiPen in my pocket when I have to work around them. But I've almost never put on the suit or the headgear or anything else. I put on gloves, but that's about it when I work with the bees because I've been doing it for so long. I just know how to move around them. I know what to look for when they're starting to become agitated. The ladies and gentlemen in my local beekeepers association. I don't know if Zelda is still here. I think she might have left. I haven't seen her comment recently, but I checked with in case she is still here. Zelda. I checked with the beekeeper association in the Portland area, and I can't find anyone who has honey that is available for sale. I guess in her area, she's paying $50 a gallon for honey, which is just ridiculous compared to what we're selling it for here in our area. But back to what I was saying though, so the people in my beekeepers association they call me the bee whisperer because I'll go out and remove wild swarms, and I know I never have to suit up. I just know how to handle them. Yeah, they're more afraid of you than you are of them, or because some people have an over. Um, they're more afraid of them, I guess. There's other people the other way. You ever been allergic or something that happened or developed? Have you always? Yeah, Lisa. So when I was a little kid, I was probably about 10 years old. I went to a company picnic, in Como Park in Minnesota. If you're from Minnesota, you know where Como Park is. So I went to Como Park with my father. It was for his company, and they had a bunch of trash cans. They had soda and ice in them. And some little kid had opened up a bunch of sodas and taken like one sip out of them, throwing them back in, and opened up another one. Well, I took the lid off of the can to reach in and grab a soda, and one of the cans so it was almost empty, and it had a couple hundred bees in it. I don't know how many were in there, but they all came out and they stung me, and I almost died. They rushed me to the ER, and they tested me later on. They did the scratches on my back for different things, and they found out that I was definitely allergic to bees. So from that moment on in my life, I've avoided areas in the summertime when there were bees out and around, and everybody in my family has been vigilant and watched it. And then as a teenager, I started carrying around the older EpiPens. If you remember the older EpiPens and how much those suckers hurt, I've had one, and I probably have 6 or 7 of them now. Keep one in every car, and I keep one at home by the back door, and I keep one by the front door, in case I ever need it. Milwaukee Ale House. That's when I got hooked on good beer. I walked away from Miller and Old Style. Now a beer snob. There are good beers out there. It's me. Hey, there's Chicago. My cubby. I was wondering. I haven't seen you in a while. Glad you could be here. It's me. Fried green tomatoes. You like fried green tomatoes? I like French fries. French fried potatoes. Oh yeah, Alice. They definitely can be. I'm pretty lucky in that. Yeah, RN. So every year I have to go into I have an annual checkup with my doctor, and I bring all my EpiPens in, and they exchange them right there at the VA for me. So they never go out of date. But I am very aware of that. Thank you. Bye, Ginger. The beekeeper in fried green tomatoes. Sorry. Yeah. Was it Kathy? What was the lady's name? Kathy something was the actress in that. She was the one that was also in Misery, who broke his ankles. You guys remember the main actress in Fried Green Tomatoes? What is her name? Kathy something or other. Bates. That's it. Loved Misery. I mean, yeah, she was great in Fried Green Tomatoes, but Misery. Bye bye, everyone. Alice Marie, thank you for stopping by today. You have a great day. You stay safe out there. And I'm going to have to wrap this up here, ladies and gentlemen. Misery is the best. Great book, by the way. Like the book a lot more than the movie, but the movie was great too. Can't imagine I haven't taken meds in my life except for ear infection and cold medicine, not allergic to anything. It's hard for someone like me to understand the things that others do on a daily basis. Uh, you're lucky, Lisa. Very lucky. Check it out. They've dismissed charges on inmates who've been caught with marijuana in their cells. I will. Oh yeah, you definitely can't go wrong. Stephen, Danielle. Well, Stephen, power. I have to get going. My little man is awake, and he would probably like me to feed him breakfast before he has to eat lunch. And it takes me a while. Once I make breakfast, he's not one of those that likes to sit down and actually eat all at once. He's more like a picker. He'll eat a little bit of this, a little bit of that in the mornings. Is Finley Irish? Yes, it is. I know exactly where my family hails from in Ireland. My father and my mother's side. My father was third generation Irish immigrant. We did the 23andMe and combined DNA for me and my siblings. We've got a little bit of Scottish in us, and uh, like 3% or something Northern European, but the rest Irish. Small little farming communities in Ireland. Dublin. Mother was born in Dublin. It's me, Irish here too. And my family, when they immigrated to America, there were originally two brothers, and one was given what we they came over here. Their last name was Finney, Finney, and the one brother got the correct name, and the other brother they got for some reason coming through Ellis Island. They changed the spelling, and it became one brother got Finney, and the other one was Finley. Same family, brothers. The mom got the correct name. The father got the correct spelling. So half my family are Finney, and the other half of them are Finley. So leave it to the federal government to screw something up like that. Even back then, you, you're born in Glasgow, Scotland. Lots of Irish here. Irish eyes. Yeah. Third third generation. We're third generation. Well, my father was third generation. Came here in 1970 when you were 7. I was 74.4% British and 14.3% Irish, and the rest German. And my wife got me the 23andMe, and I did that. And then her her and my sister, I have 2 older sisters, and then me. And then I have 2 younger sisters, and I have an older brother. So it goes brother, 2 sisters, then me, then I have 2 younger sisters. So, but my wife is pretty close with sister. It's just under me in age, and she talked all the rest of the siblings into doing a 23andMe, and oddly, it all came back the same, except for my brother, but who disappeared in 1973-ish, right in there. My mom used to sell shamrocks on the streets of Dublin as a child. I have I've never been back to Ireland, but or Irish American, Scottish, and British almost. But my wife and my daughter and my son, my mother-in-law, they were supposed to go to Ireland. Well, around the 1st of June, and I was supposed to go back to Wisconsin like I normally do, travel U.S. For and watch minor league baseball. What I usually do every June because I'm off. I took off from the 3rd of June, and I'll be off until the end of the month. But my father-in-law has had a couple of serious setbacks with his health. He had another stroke, and he fell and broke his hip. So they put their plans to go to Ireland this summer on hold until next year. And yeah, Zuzu, my pedals, my brother, my older brother. Kind of a long story, but short version is he had a disagreement with my father when I was a child, and my father said that my brother had gotten mixed up in a cult. Now, to my father, any religion besides being Catholic was a cult. He could have been, a Protestant, and that would have been a cult to my father. But they got into a disagreement about it, and my father pretty much wrote him off and said, "Look, until you change your ways, I don't want to talk to you." And he kept in contact. My brother kept in contact with the family for a couple of years afterwards, and then vanished. And that's how I originally got into before YouTube. I started, with my sisters doing internet searches and calling around, and we were trying to track him down. We don't know what happened to him. See, he'd be 64, 66 right there now. I'd have to actually look at the papers again to if I was there, he's older than me. So if he's even still alive, who knows? Maybe he has a family out there somewhere, kids, that are probably my age or close to my age. Don't know. You have a great heart, Daniela. You do. I was talking to someone earlier today, and I said, I'd give just about anything to have 10 minutes with my father to talk about everything and nothing at the same time. And Father's Day is one of those days of the year when I truly do miss him. But my father lives on in me, and in the short amount of time that I did get to spend with him, because he died when I was 10. But those 10 years, he instilled the work ethics and morals in me that I have today, and that I'm passing on to my son. So thank you, Ramona. I will. Have you tried to see if he's signed up for one of the DNA matching services? Yeah, sensible crime. We've um, the Mormon Church and their lovely ancestry.com and all their they have the world's largest, I believe, database of DNA profiles and genealogy records. And I have a nephew who is a member of their church, and he actually works in the archives department, some cave somewhere, archiving records. But we've checked into it. He completely vanished. We know he's never used his social security number since I think the last time it popped up on the social security records database was like 1979. So we believe he most likely left the U.S. Maybe most likely in Australia or New Zealand. So because at the time he had some friends from that area. So they do. They do, Buffy. They live through us. You know, I as long as we saw the memories, and we we share with the next generation the experiences that we've lived, and the experiences of our parents, we're going to be a lot better off for humanity and passing along the knowledge, and that's we have a serious disconnection there in this world today. Children don't listen to their grandparents. They're not going to learn to avoid the same mistakes. They don't know what it's like to suffer. They don't know what it's like to go through food rations or have to deal with wartime activities. And because even with the Gulf War and the war in Afghanistan, I mean, I could talk to my son all day long. He can watch video clips on YouTube, but unless I make it personal for him, and I share the information that I have and my experiences with him from a firsthand account, it's never going to be the connection, or something he's going to want, going to remember. And I spent a lot of time with my my grand my great grandfather and then my grandfather, especially after my father died. They were the next in line to help me become the young man and keep my morals and everything in balance. And I joined a family social organization that I'm still a member of to this very day, and I volunteer there as a bartending, and I'll some days I just show up and I sweep and vacuum and do whatever they needs to be done, just so I can actually be there to talk with people who are older than me, especially the World War II and Vietnam veterans, so I can learn from them the experiences of their life and what it was like going through the trials and tribulations of growing up, and being living in that time period. YouTube's messing with your sound, Lisa. I'm sorry. That's cool, Zuzu. But okay, I guess I said I was going to end this at 2 hours, but then we've gone another 28 minutes. So hey, look, RN, you got at least a half an hour. Um, I was going to trying to read your comment. My father used to threaten to make me pick grapes when I was a kid. The very first job I ever had, RN, was I worked for a farm, and not well off of our family farm. First job I ever had off of our family farm was I worked in an orchard, and I would write down the weight of all the grapes that were picked by the migrant farmers, and I would write it down on a sheet and the weights and make sure that the grapes were ripe and not green. These were wine grapes, but your father used to threaten you to make you pick grapes. Well, thank you, Ramona. I'm me. I don't see anything that I'm doing either with this channel or anything out of the ordinary. We can learn a lot, all right, from our elders. There's an entire treasure trove of knowledge there that so many people they don't pay attention and they don't give it value. There's some great YouTube channels out there. Now the channel died a long time ago. It was college students, uh, like his something he was doing for a college class or something like thesis or something. I can't remember, but it was he had his grandmother do Great Depression cooking and how did they make a meal in during the Great Depression. And there's some great channels like that out there that and then he had a whole series of videos that he I can't remember the name of the channel though. So, but there's some great content out there on YouTube. I hope to someday, eventually, be able to post some comment that or some content that is worth something. All right, everyone. I'm going to take off here. I really do appreciate each and every one of you stopping by today, and I hope you all have a terrific weekend. Even if your fathers are not around, maybe say a prayer for them tonight if you believe in religion. Thank your father. Give him a call. Even if he's a grumpy son of a beat, thank him anyways. And for all you single mothers out there who are pulling double duty and being the mother and the father to those children, remember, everything that you do today and everything that you say to them is beneficial down the road. So love them, hug them, kiss them, do whatever you can. But happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, and everyone stay safe. Till next time.